What does faith look like to you?
As a campus minister at Aquinas, I am deeply inspired by our college values, and in particular, faith. This value guides my daily interactions, my responsibilities, and it shapes everything that I do. Faith to me involves nurturing spiritual growth and providing opportunities towards service, for connection, and a safe space for prayer and reflection. It means helping students to explore and deepen their beliefs and supporting them on their personal spiritual journeys. But faith is more than just a spirituality. It also encompasses a belief in oneself and in others. It encourages students to have a confidence in their abilities and to trust and support from their community. This is something I personally see on so many levels every day here at Aquinas. We are a welcoming community of any faith and support the needs of all of our students. Members of our community may not be Catholics, they may not even be Christians, but we are committed to guiding and encouraging everyone, no matter where they are on their faith journey. Within the value of faith, we see it as a building block for strong relationships. It continues to create a welcoming and supportive atmosphere that supports the holistic development of every student. And with so many of them flourishing in so many aspects of school life, it is something that is really, really important and on show every day at Aquinas.
Faith is about believing in something greater than yourself, even without physical proof. It's about trusting God's plan and presence. It is absolutely nothing to be ashamed of, and I want to be a role model for the younger students to make sure they know that it is not embarrassing to have a good relationship with God and with your faith. Even if you are not religious, you're obviously more than welcome in our school, but you should never stop having faith in yourself and the people that you love. With this being my 7th school, my relationship with faith has been the one consistent thing throughout my whole life. Faith provides strength in difficult times, offering hope, peace, and direction. Faith brings people together, creating a sense of belonging through shared beliefs, traditions, and support. Faith is shown through actions, helping others, being a voice for justice, and making a positive impact in the world.
The college value of faith looks to me much like a gift. When being asked to deliberate about what the faith looks like to me, I was thinking of the heart, the traditional symbol, and flame and passion, and faith's an act of the heart. It's also a gift of oneself reaching out and accepting God's offer of God's very self. There are 3 dimensions associated with faith in terms of a Catholic setting and Catholic identity. And there's the content, the intellectual aspect, but there's the trust and relational aspect. And it's that relationship that leads to a commitment or ownership of the values. The classic faith is the assurance of things hoped for, but the conviction of things not seen, in Hebrews, is much often quoted. But in a plural context, befriending diversity has become really important. This is an educational setting where students and staff are at different stages of faith. They have different faiths and some have no religious affiliation at all. When thinking about what faith means, I had some ideas in terms of symbols. I've already spoken about faith being a gift, but it's one that you use and reuse, not just put in the cupboard. And it's a different gift, one that you share. I was thinking about my faith. Faith looks like a parcel wrapped in multi-layers, a bit like the one you use at the pass the parcel in a party. God wraps the parcel, and there's no fun in it unwrapping it on your own. So his faith is meant to be shared, not just, on your own. I also thought of an avocado, how essential avocado is to the guacamole dip. I think these core values, all 4 of them, are really important for making the mission statement and vision come alive. Otherwise it's a piece of paper or a chart on the wall. I think faith's a very social value, and I had images of the 4 core values that you promulgate in a little circle with an Aquinas t-shirt with faith, compassion, etc. written on it. They're joining hands and they're moving and they're dancing and they're celebrating together. I also thought of a rural signpost as I was driving around, and I think that this signpost had faith in all directions. But I think with relationship with God, you follow the path that's right for you at the time, and there's a time for everything under heaven. I think faith has a movement of its own. It's a dynamic action, it's not static, but it's something to be activated and not kept up one sleeve. And so I'm impacted by the fact that I need to engage in behaviour that will enable me to strengthen my faith, and hopefully prevent it from changing course and going altogether. So it has to be nurtured. And those nurturing, the doing verbs of nurturing faith, nourishing faith, challenged faith is challenged and being developed. I think that they encourage us to practice an attitude of faith and hope to help form an authentic identity, a Catholic identity, rather than just say this is our identity. When we practice that on day-to-day basis, I think that works really well for our students. And faith can be challenged, and in today's world there's lots of challenging things going on. And so I think it's important to encourage not only to teach religious education, but to make sure that the students can think religiously, like all of us. And I often laugh, if I was teaching still in the classroom, I would be saying to the children, I'd take more time to discuss them and to very gently invite that discussion amongst all the different diversity in the classroom. And I'd take time to discuss things like, when you send the prayer emoji at the end of your text, you actually pray for that person, or is it like an impersonation of a high five, just a bit of an automatic thing? And so this is what the impact is of faith on me, is that sense that it's a significant thing. And lastly, how's my value of faith reflected in my day-to-day life? There are 5 well-known aspects of faith, and this is the religious dimension, the Christian, the moral, the intellectual, and the ecclesial aspect. And I think, as John Paul said in an encyclical, on one hand a person must believe in order to understand, but then on the other hand they must understand in order to believe. And so Aquinas, who is the patron of the faith value, and you draw upon his wisdom here a great deal, he said there are 3 senses, and the 3 senses are believing in a God, seeking, having a passion to get the right answers, to go deeper in general. He said then there's believing God. God's revelation hopefully will sit on you, what's to be believed, what matters, and then believing in God. That's the assent to the goodness of God. I think that's really important. One thing I've learnt, and I try to reflect this personally in my life, is to sit comfortably with mystery, don't overwork it, because the action is in my response, and to the love and grace that I feel. And that's another Aquinas thing. It's God's love and grace. That's what faith is, freely given.